Why do you think people have a hard time finding their why?
Well, so even having the time to think about your real why is sort of a luxury, right? It's really for those who are privileged, right? Now, listen, if you're a successful loan officer, even a moderately successful loan officer, you're no longer in survival mode for the most part, right? And so at its most basic, right? Our why is like, I gotta eat, I gotta put food on the table for my kids, I gotta be able to afford a place to live, I gotta be able to retire at some point. That the fear-based parts of it are very real for many people, and so the whole like existential why and what's my motivation, like that's for the luxury of people who have already kind of met their minimum life standards, right? Now, almost all the loan officers that I'm meeting with and dealing with are kind of, unless they have really poor spending habits, and some of them do, they're meeting their minimum for why, and then that's like a different thing to kind of have a conversation around. So once you've met your minimum standards, right? You have a house, you have the food, you have 3 months of savings in the bank, and you can buy your kids Christmas gifts and like all like those like very real things. Then it's like, okay, well, I want more. Right? And so now more can lead you to all sorts of really bad habits that will get you more, but will continuously feed into a cycle of you not being happy. I mean, I cannot tell you how many loan officers I've met with this year that had record years, made more money than they ever in their wildest imaginations dreamed of making, and were ready to quit the business, unhappy, can't figure out what's going on with them. They're miserable, right? And it's like, man, I thought that, I've achieved everything I set out to achieve. Why do I feel like this? Right? And it's because it came from a fear-based place or it wasn't like some bigger why. And the reality is there's not a lot of difference in lifestyle and happiness. And we know this from research and everything else between making $250,000 a year and $1 million a year, right? In most markets, right? And so obviously there's some markets where, 250 doesn't go as far, but for the majority of this country, 250 is a lot of money, right? And so last year you made 700. Well, I'm like, well, your lifestyle didn't change, but you did work harder. You put more effort in. You put more hours in. You spent less time with your family. People are irritated with you, but your lifestyle didn't get any better. Maybe you feel better because you have this money in the bank or whatever, but it doesn't do for you. You got that nicer car, whatever it is. But for anybody who's bought a really nice car before, you know that after 3 months of getting into it, it's just your car. It's no longer the nice new car. It's just your car, right? And so those things are very temporary. They don't lead to happiness. And so when I think about why, it's like, hey, are you really passionate about helping people get the home, making good home decisions, make the right financial decisions, helping them get their credit scores up, helping them buy their first home? Is it more that you love helping realtors grow their business and working with your partners and doing those different things? Is it that you generally love building a team of support people so that you can, like one of the things that I still almost every year make sure I hire somebody either right out of school or maybe a year out of school, because I find it incredibly fulfilling to mentor people, and they're not necessarily salespeople, but in any role, to give back and help give people guidance that maybe I wish I had gotten at different stages of my career to get to where I wanted to go. And so that's motivating. It energizes me. I get up every day. I feel fulfilled by doing that. It doesn't make me any more money. In fact, if anything, I'm probably spending time on some of that stuff and it doesn't make me or the company more money. But if it energizes me, if it's part of my why, if it's part of the reason, if I want, one of my goals is that people at my funeral, hopefully there's a lot of people there saying I help them get where they want to go. Well, now how I spend my time or what I focus on, it changes. And so it brings me real joy and happiness. And so again, once your initial needs are met, it's what's going to make you happy? What's going to make you energized? How do you want to live your life? How do you want people to think of you? Those things are important.